We're gonna be on YouTube for the next no with TikTok. We'll be on TikTok for the next um 15 minutes as well. As soon as we done with the tube, we're back on. Give me 1 second. There we go. Kill the echo. All right. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your host, Drake, B Drake with Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast with a purpose. Our mission statement comes from the words of Dr. Martin King Jr., which are he believed that men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because of segregation. And because of segregation, we have miscommunication. So we created this platform and podcast and the pillars of respect, communication, and consistency so we can get to know each other so we can love one another. Thank you for joining us. We go live every Sunday, 7:30 Central Standard Time here on YouTube. We stream a little bit on YouTube. We may go over to the book a little bit. We're on TikTok, but we come on Zoom to have this conversation with our audience and our community, the culture crew. So if you want to be a part of us, holler at us, come be a part of us, and we appreciate you. But tonight, we're not of course, we don't touch on all topics while we're here on the tubes and the talk and streaming and things, but we do continue this conversation, let's say not off camera, but off stream. That's what we're going to say. But we're going to be discussing our most recent episode, The Makings of Linda, which is the former CEO of Food Lifeline and my former CEO as well. Great individual. We're going to be discussing the price of grooming or the culture of grooming, essentially. How much does it cost for us to go to the barber shop or to the beauty shop? How much has changed over time? And is it reasonable? Is there some things that we should keep? Is it worth it? Things that we're going to be touching on that point. And we're going to be discussing the culture of customer service. I saw quite a bit happening on my feed of people reacting to people talking about having to smile and be courteous to people for customer service until I saw someone say it themselves that I think they said, you're not looking for customer service, you're looking for a servant. And I'm like, I left my 2 cents for that, but we're going to be discussing that again tonight, as well as anything that may come up throughout the conversation. But we appreciate y'all for being here. And I want to shout out to the folks that's with us tonight. Hello, Jay. Hello, Crystal. Hello, T. And hello, Tanya. How are we doing? How the week been?
Been doing good. Everything's been great. Great
Love
week.
it.
Great weekend.
Love it.
Good evening. It was a good week. I felt like Friday was particularly long, but other than that, it was good.
Is that a good thing?
No, because I was ready to go.
Oh, okay. Friday at work. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why my days seem long is because I had like an edible 2 of them days.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Tanya, how about yours? Tanya be moving and grooving, so she'll be with us in a moment.
My week was really well. It was good. It was good.
Good. Oh, you know what? Did y'all wear White Friday?
White Friday?
I
I
forgot.
No, I
forgot to wear my white on Friday, and I was disgusted.
I had on a white shirt, but that's because I was going somewhere and I need to put on a shirt.
Nah, it's all white. Rest
So
in peace, Frankie Beverly. Oh
well,
my
look at here.
goodness.
Mhm.
Yeah, Mr. Silky Soul. Frankie is not part of my generation, but I think he's one of those artists in the Black African American or just American, Southern American, all around culture. He has impacted numerous lives. And I can't think of one year, one summer, one event that has been, hey, Eli, hey, I can't think of one event that I had in one of my family that we were not playing any Frankie Beverly and Maze. So we've lost a lot of legends over our past 30 days, I would say 30 to 45 days. People who's impactful to our culture, musically, as well as just as an artist in total. We talked about James, was it James Earl Jones last week? And Fat Man Scoop, Rich Homie Quan. I know I'm missing someone else. Oh my goodness. Oh, are we gonna talk about Diddy this week too? Okay, we'll come back to that. But all in all being said, thank y'all for joining us. I'm glad everybody have a great week. Hope the next week is gonna be even better. And just quickly, was anyone able to listen to the episode, The Makings of Linda?
I listened to the first beginnings of it, but I didn't get a chance to finish it all, unfortunately.
Okay. Make sure to like,
That's honest.
share,
Yeah.
comment. I appreciate the honesty. That's something I really appreciate, the honesty.
Mhm.
But that episode was the last episode I recorded the last episode for me to release from Seattle. I know that's a long time ago. I was nervous about putting it out. A little frustrated, I will say that, because I could not find the other angle. A lot of work to put in there. Shout out to my guy Prince Sagnoon. Shout out to my guy Carl Phillips. Miss y'all, love y'all, brothers. They helped me a great deal recording that episode. It's like usually I'm doing all these things by myself, but my last few recordings I had another hand, and hopefully I can get back to that here in Seattle. But the love that put into a production that setup was awesome. Once again, I was so frustrated because I had two different angles. I had one with me and her in a shot, and the one with just her. And I only could find the one with just her. I'm glad the audio is connected to that one, because I don't know if I would have been able to put it out if it wasn't. But great conversation with a great individual. Hello, Court. How are we doing? Of course, she's coming around in a second. But that, once again, Linda, my former CEO, the former CEO for Food Lifeline, she was the CEO of that organization for 25 years, if I'm not mistaken. She has a true passion for hunger solutions of food insecurity, meaning food banking. Or is saying food banking is so simplistic, but it's so much more in depth what it means, and making that significant change to not only feed people who need food, but actually end hunger in total. I've learned so much in that organization, but I also learned a lot from her. I've seen some leaders before, or, people in certain positions of leadership, but she was one of those persons since day one. I saw her make that significant change. Okay. I've seen her, the things that people complain and what they don't have or they don't receive. I saw that in that person right there. Seeing a person that just with a genuine sales and professional was pretty dope. Okay. I've seen people be their genuine sales and be unprofessional. I've seen people be professional and not their genuine sales, if that makes sense. But she listened to the podcast. I remember, we get a little go back in the day of Everything Culture. I started Everything Culture in 2019 and moved to Seattle in 2019, then started working there early 2020. And if you could find some of the former episodes in season 1, I used to go under the name of Mr. D713. I used to have to bleep out anytime somebody accidentally said my government, because it was mainly I didn't want to get in trouble at my job, okay, where I was working at. And the reason I started this podcast is because I didn't see a lot of things I should have been seeing at my job. A lot of good communication, a lot of cultural diversity. It wasn't very inclusive at times. So I would talk about it, but I wouldn't talk about it. It was like my little secret at times. But I was still keeping it on my shoulder. It was still on my arm, but I'm like, hey, I can't bring you out in public type thing. But moved to Seattle, and I had some running with some other coworkers that were kind of dismissive, not a lot, but there's a couple that was in leadership that like, don't want to do it. But when my CEO came to me and was like, I love your podcast. and actually was saying like that when you brought this woman on here and she was speaking about this and the ideology, and I went to the website and read you have a great. I was like, "Yeah, I'd be cussing. This one I used to cuss a lot. All right, and she was like, "It's all-" and like and have that green light from the person that sometimes you may get in trouble, and then have other people complain. I don't know if y'all may not have been around for this. I had somebody, one of us, a brother actually, on the other black man that was in HR, that actually went to HR on me about my podcast because I had someone that he didn't like on my show. Crazy. But to get the green light from not only my CEO, green light, oh, we love it, we support it. What can we do for it? And then have other people in HR love and support it. It meant a lot to me. And I believe this is my baby. And sometimes we have that fear of flying or that shame of doing something on your own, but having someone like that to support it and have a good sense of professionalism too meant a lot to me. And not only just support it, but actually listen to it. So shout
That's
out to
awesome.
Linda. Oh man, it was amazing. And if you listen to her episode, she speaks about being from Oklahoma and coming from a family that she never saw her parents fight before. Okay. She's the second white woman we've had on the podcast. Okay. In the 97 interviews, we only had 2 white women. Okay. And the way she came in and just held herself and was just laid back, funny, shared that she talked about her queerness. Okay.
Or what?
Her queerness.
Okay. All right.
She spoke about being from Oklahoma, and when she's coming up, she come from a small town in the South. Well, Oklahoma is not really considered the South, but you know what I mean. She said it was only like one street light. Her parents, like her family was like Leave It to Beaver. Back in the day, she never saw a lesbian on television. There was no such thing as a lesbian in her town. There was such thing as gay men, but no such thing as a lesbian, And she never, when she found out, when she left her hometown and she it never really fit her. And then, once again, I would tell y'all, go back and listen to the episode. And she spoke when she was finally to figure out, what does this mean? What is this term? Where did this ideology come from? Or this lifestyle, it was for her. She spoke about her work getting to food insecurity, how she started, she thought she wanted to be a college professor like her father, but things shifted and she became an executive director that was making, how much did she say? If y'all can go, but she was making like, I think $23,000. Yeah, $23,000 annually as an executive director. At any time, that's not enough. And when she spoke about how she became food insecure herself, that's what transitioned her to have a bit more passion for people who in need of food. And have any of y'all been to a food bank or worked at like say a food distribution center? Hey Shan, we're streaming.
Hey, I've been to a couple food banks.
Okay. I know Tanya has. We did a volunteer. She been a few times, and we did a volunteer event with Everything Culture not so long ago.
Yeah, I've been to a food bank. My father volunteered there a few times.
Okay. So when you went to the food, if you ever had to go and receive food from a food bank, how did it make you feel?
Have I ever had to go get food
Mhm.
from a food bank? No, I've
Yes.
never had to get food from a food bank. No. Um, no.
So I'm gonna say this: things that I've seen where people, when you come in, they're not treated fair. Well, I want to say they're treated like you're coming to a food bank. Okay. Like you only have a select amount of food. Hey, you take this and you get nothing,
Mhm.
and that doesn't really make people feel like they belong at times. Once again, these are things that it was taught at our organization. And something I appreciate also about Linda, she was saying, I'm learning right with y'all. I'm just saying when I receive this information, my responsibility is to share this information to make this organization better for the people. As a nonprofit shouldn't serve the people just working there or to the board or how it should serve the community that it's serving. Okay. That's the thing a lot of people forget or just don't want to acknowledge. And when we had to work on, because that was my mindset. You come to the food bank, you need to be happy with what you can get. Because
Right.
what usually comes to our mind when we think of that?
As far as people not getting what they want, or
Yeah, people, if you can't afford to get food and somebody's giving you some food, what should you say?
thank you, I appreciate your um what's the
Generosity, whatever the case may
generosity.
be. Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Like, no, I used to be like, beggars can't be choosers. How many times have we
Exactly.
heard that?
Right. Right.
But if you see someone that, once again, it's so much food out here, y'all. So much food out here. It's plenty. But when you see someone, let's say Courtney from Florida, all right. I'm just tossing something out. Okay, let's just say we can use all of us actually. We may not eat macaroni and cheese out of the box. Okay.
So I feel like this is about to come down my street.
It may.
It probably will.
Okay. So if you don't eat this type of food, if it's not part of your culture and you're going to a food bank, is it really beneficial for you?
No, you're just gonna go to waste.
No, it's not. That's
Mm.
why I feel like just because someone is giving you doesn't mean that you have to. If it's not helpful to you, I don't feel like you have to. People expect you to grovel or be super grateful, but if it doesn't help you, what am I being grateful for?
Exactly.
I completely agree. And I know the saying beggars can't be choosers. I have a problem with that statement.
Mhm.
I don't like that statement at all.
I really have a problem with that statement because just because I am in an unfortunate situation, why can't I choose?
Right.
Why is it that I have to have what you want me to have as opposed to having what it is I actually want? And then on top of that, the expectation is I just have to accept it and be grateful.
Right.
I don't agree with that.
And neither do I, but I learned so much at that organization, and Linda leading that and being the example meant a lot too. And I, once again, with the young folks saying glaze or somebody, if I didn't see this for myself, I wouldn't say any of these things. When we had the National Guard there and the cleaning crew didn't clean up the kitchen, and it was ants it was like on a Friday, we come back Monday, it was ants in the kitchen now because there was still food in there, trays and things. Like, I'm in HR, she hits me up, hit the front desk up, and I'm like, oh man, we get right on it, calling, making sure the what do we call them, the maintenance crew come out. I go downstairs because me being a leader myself, I'm about to see what I can clean up and fix up, you know what I mean? I come down there, she got a mop. She own it. Y'all don't understand. It went from being a $13 million nonprofit to a $28 million nonprofit. And you got a mop and broom. I was like, man, ain't nobody, only person saw her doing it was me.
Mm.
And I told her, I respect you. Like, this is within my first 3 months, 4 months of being there. And I said, and I emailed her. I was like, I respect you. I've been on the board of directors. I've worked with other CEOs, and I've never seen someone like, especially on this level. I usually say, I see them, they'll tell somebody, and I've seen them go and look at the person do it. But to go out and say and do it yourself, I said you don't understand the level of respect you gain with me by doing that. When we used to have the news stations, the news crews come in, man, my previous CEOs, they used to get so choked up and I don't know what to say. Drake, can you speak for us? I used to be like, man, I don't even get paid to speak to all these people. Like, you can Google my name in Houston, you can find some clips of me speaking to KLTV and all that down here. And I'm not even prepped to present. But to see my CEO, oh, no problem. You know, whatever the news station up there, I forget the name of it, in Como, I think it was, she'll be real prep, chop something up, make it smooth, and hey, all right, appreciate y'all. Let me get back to work. Love y'all. Man, that is something cool to see. And I wish more people, and she, not only that, let me do, like, once again, I can say it here. When we was hiring people, when we working on our diversity, equity, inclusion hiring, I ain't gonna say all the business right here when we streaming, but she lit a fire under me. Was like, if you feel like somebody's not being included, if we hired you for a reason to make sure to represent what you need to represent. If you feel like you getting in too much flack or pushback, come to me. You know, she knew, she said, I know you're gonna go do it yourself. It's not saying fall out, but she said, you know, go through, and I already knew it, but I'm like, just to have that support and have that support from the board of directors too meant a lot. Something I do not see here in Texas. Breaking the problems of not inaccuracies, but inadequate people, white men, they're not doing their jobs, and making sure we're bringing in people of whoever look like no matter what to actually do the job. But that's a conversation we can have later too. But once again, I will really appreciate y'all go and listen to the episode. We got a new episode dropping tomorrow. The makings of Glock, actually. I was trying to get it out. It could be up tonight, but all in all being said, we're doing episodes every week. If y'all have some suggestions for me, let me know, but we get right to it. But the shift the topic. Oh my goodness. How much do y'all pay to go to the salon? You ain't got no fellas in here right now. If you go to the barbershop, how much do you pay? But how much do you pay to go to the salon? Big difference between a manager, a leader, and a boss. A leader would do it themselves.
For the girls, if they get their hair braided, could be $160. If I'm getting my hair
each?
Yeah. If I'm getting my hair braided, depending on what it is, could be $250. That's why I don't do it as often. Atlanta is taxing crazy. And then like if I'm getting my natural hair done, which is like a deep condition and a blowout, I rarely ever make them straighten it because I don't like a lot of heat on my hair. That's probably 65, 75 if I tip them. And so when you come from like a time where you just remember always getting your hair done.
So let's hold on. So how much was it cost back in the day to get your hair done?
Most of the time my family would do it. Most of the time I never had to go to a professional hairdresser because I knew a cousin that'll braid your hair like nothing. And I was just saying the other day how much my family took the fact that we knew the cousin that could braid for granted, compared to now how much you have to pay. And you can still find some people around Atlanta that'll have like $50 Tuesdays or $30 Thursdays. But the reality is we are paying for our time in a way of, is getting my hair done worth me taking off of work to go get it done? Is getting the girls' hair done worth me taking them out of school to get it done because they're all booked up for 4 weekends?
Okay,
you know?
Okay, hold on. You're going too fast. Let's pull it back.
Yeah.
But we going somewhere, Shane. Hey, Nick.
Hi.
What's up?
Welcome in. So I see $30 for your son's haircut. So it's been so when you say that since he's been a child, or is not because he's like he's over 18?
No, so his barber The barber that he has been cutting his hair since his first haircut, since he was
Yeah.
1 year old. And when he started off, I think it may have been $20. May have been.
$20. Okay.
May have. It may have been less than that. Just now that him being 18, 19, it's $30 now.
Yeah, he's grown now.
Um,
He's grown now. So
right.
when you hit that adult age, oh, they start taxing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And but the good thing with our barber, because he's been going to him since he was little, he's like, he will cut his hair if he needs it. And he'd be like, just hit me up when you get the money or whatever. So that's the, relationship that we've built with him.
That's
So,
love right there.
but I always tip him. My husband never did. My husband tipped him maybe like $5. I don't think my husband tipped him really, honestly. And the day that I tipped him, and he's like, "Oh, I think you need to have Miss Youngblood drop him off." Bring him every time because I tipped him very well. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
No, you gonna get $5 to $10. You ain't getting nothing crazy over here with tipping. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about that off stream. Love y'all. Appreciate your YouTube. Appreciate your TikTok. If you want to join the conversation, the information is right here. Holler at me on any of the socials in my inbox. If you really want to come on, I'll shoot it to you. I'll be checking on while we're having this conversation. But yeah, we'll holler at y'all later. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And make sure to follow, like,